My phone rang at 2:00 a.m. I almost ignored it. Then I heard her voice, shaking, barely breathing. "Dad, please come get me." I asked where she was. Someone grabbed the phone. A calm voice said, "She's not leaving." The line went dead, and that's when I knew something was very wrong. "My name is Aaron Blake. I'm 56 years old. I live in Cedar Falls." What happened that night changed my relationship with my daughter forever. I didn't sleep after that call. I sat at the edge of my bed, phone still in my hand, staring at the dark screen like it might ring again if I looked hard enough. 2:00 a.m. That time sticks with you. Nothing good ever comes at 2:00 a.m. I called back immediately, straight to voicemail. I texted, "Where are you? I'm coming." No reply. My wife Linda stirred beside me. "Aaron." "What's wrong?" I didn't answer at first. My heart was beating too fast. I could still hear my daughter's voice in my head, tight, rushed, afraid in a way I hadn't heard since she was a child with a fever. "She called," I finally said. "Who?" "Emily." Linda sat up. "At this hour, she wants me to get her." Linda reached for her glasses. "From where? I don't know." That was the worst part, not knowing. Emily had been married just under a year. We had our differences about it, but I never tried to control her life. She was grown, she was smart, she loved her husband, or at least she said she did. Her in-laws lived 2 hours away, in a town I'd only visited once for the wedding rehearsal dinner. Polite smiles, tight conversations, a family that spoke softly but watched everything. I got dressed in the dark. Linda touched my arm. "Aaron, maybe it's just an argument, couples fight." "She didn't sound like an argument," I said. "She sounded trapped." I grabbed my keys. The drive felt longer than it should have. Every mile marker crawled by. My mind kept replaying the call, over and over, trying to catch something I'd missed, the way her breath hitched. The pause before she said, "Dad," and that voice after, not angry, not yelling, calm, that scared me more than shouting ever could. When I pulled into their driveway, the house was dark except for one light upstairs. It was just after 4:30 a.m., too early for anyone to be awake, too late for excuses. I knocked, no answer. I knocked harder, a porch light clicked on. The door opened just enough to show a face I recognized immediately, her mother-in-law. She looked perfectly composed, robe tied neatly, hair brushed. As if she'd been expecting me. "Aaron," she said quietly, "you shouldn't be here. I'm here for my daughter." She stepped outside, closing the door behind her. "Emily is staying with her husband tonight." She called me, her lips pressed into a thin line. She was emotional. She asked me to come get her. "She doesn't always know what she wants," she said. "You parents have a hard time letting go." I felt something tighten in my chest. "Let me see her." "No," that word landed hard. "She's an adult," I said. "If she wants to leave, she can leave." Her eyes hardened just a fraction. "Not tonight." I heard movement behind the door, a floorboard creak, a muffled sound. I stepped forward. "Emily." "Nothing. She's resting," her mother-in-law said quickly. "You should go home." Open the door. She didn't move. That's when I noticed it. The lock. A heavy slide bolt at the top of the door. Not decorative, functional. I swallowed. "Why is that locked from the outside?" Her gaze flicked upward for half a second. Too fast, too telling, for safety. "From who?" I asked. She didn't answer. I pulled out my phone. "I'm calling the police." Her hand shot out, not touching me, but close enough. "That would be a mistake. You don't get to decide that." She leaned in, her voice low now. "This is a family matter. You interfere and you'll make things worse for Emily." My hands were shaking, but not from fear, from rage. "I am her family." She studied my face like she was weighing something. Then she sighed, almost pitying. "You always think you know what's best for your children," she said, "but you raised her to be soft. We're teaching her strength, by locking her in, by correcting her." That word made my stomach turn. "Move," I said. She didn't. Behind her upstairs, I saw the light flick off. I didn't think. I pushed past her and tried the door. It didn't budge. She raised her voice for the first time. "Aaron, stop, you're causing a scene." I turned back to her. "If she doesn't come out right now, I'm calling for help." She smiled, a small, confident smile. "She's not leaving," she said again. "Not tonight, not until she understands." Understands what? I dialed anyway, but before the call connected, I heard it. A thud upstairs, then a sharp intake of breath. "Dad," faint, muffled, but unmistakable, her voice. I stepped back, phone pressed to my ear, eyes locked on the door as the call started ringing. And in that moment, standing on a quiet street before dawn, I realized something I hadn't wanted to admit. This wasn't a misunderstanding. This wasn't a family disagreement. This was something else entirely. And if I didn't act fast, my daughter wasn't just staying the night. She might not be allowed to leave at all. The police didn't arrive fast enough. That's the truth people don't like to hear. When you're standing outside a locked door at dawn, knowing your child is on the other side, minutes stretch into something cruel. I stayed on the line with the dispatcher, my eyes never leaving the front of the house. "Yes," I said quietly. "My daughter is inside. She called me for help." "I believe she's being prevented from leaving." The dispatcher asked calm questions. Address, names, relationship. Behind me, the front door opened again. Her mother-in-law stepped out, phone in her hand this time. "You don't need to do this," she said evenly. "I've already spoken to someone." "To who?" I snapped. "Our family attorney, of course." She moved closer, lowering her voice like she was doing me a favor. "Emily is emotional. Newly married women go through adjustment. You calling authorities will humiliate her. You locked the door. For her protection." "That's not protection, that's control," she exhaled slowly. "You're making this worse." I ended the call with dispatch when I saw the patrol car turn onto the street. Red and blue lights cut through the early morning fog. Her expression changed instantly. Not fear, calculation. The officer stepped out, young, polite professional. "Morning," he said. "We got a call about a possible domestic dispute." I stepped forward. "My daughter is inside. She asked me to come get her. I believe she's being kept against her will." The officer turned to her. "Ma'am," she smiled gently. "This is a misunderstanding. My daughter-in-law had a panic episode. She's resting, she's safe. Can I speak to her?" the officer asked. She hesitated just a second too long. "She's asleep." The officer looked back at me. "Sir, unless there's evidence of immediate danger." I heard her. I cut in. "Just now, she called my name." The officer's jaw tightened. "Ma'am, I need to see her." The front door opened again. This time it wasn't her, it was my daughter's husband. He looked tired, pale, like someone who hadn't slept. "Aaron," he said quietly, "please. Let's not do this here." "Where is my daughter?" I asked. He rubbed his face. "She's upstairs." "Then bring her down." He glanced at his mother. That glance told me everything. "I can't," he said. The officer straightened. "Sir, is your wife here voluntarily?" Silence. "Then she's confused." The officer took a step forward. "I need a clear answer." Emily's husband swallowed. "She's not leaving tonight." That was enough. The officer stepped past them. "I'm coming inside." Her mother-in-law protested, but it was useless. The law was finally on the right side of the door. I followed them up the stairs. Every step felt heavier than the last. At the top, a bedroom door stood closed. The officer knocked. "Emily, it's the police. Are you okay?" No response. I pushed the door open. Emily was sitting on the edge of the bed, knees pulled to her chest, hair disheveled, eyes red. There was a bruise forming on her wrist, already turning dark. When she saw me, she broke. "Dad," she sobbed. I crossed the room in 2 steps and knelt in front of her. "I'm here, I've got you." Her mother-in-law rushed in behind us. "She's exaggerating." Emily flinched at the sound of her voice. That flinch did more than any bruise ever could. The officer noticed it too. "Ma'am," he said firmly, "please step back." Emily grabbed my jacket. "They won't let me go. Every time I try, they say I'm unstable." I looked at her husband. "Did you do this?" He didn't answer. The officer asked Emily directly, "Do you want to leave this house right now?" "Yes," she said without hesitation. "Please." That should have been the end of it. It was. Her mother-in-law's voice sharpened. "She's not well, she's under our care." "Care?" I snapped. "You locked her in." "She agreed to stay," she said. Emily shook her head violently. "No, I didn't." The officer held up his hand. "That's enough, she's leaving." Her mother-in-law's face hardened. "You can't just take her." The officer met her stare. "Watch me." We packed nothing. Emily didn't want to go back into the room. She kept glancing over her shoulder like she expected someone to stop her. As we walked out, her husband stood frozen at the top of the stairs. "Emily," he said softly, "please, you're overreacting." She didn't look back. The drive back to my house was silent at first. Emily sat curled in the passenger seat, arms wrapped around herself. 10 minutes in, she whispered, "I didn't know how bad it would get." I kept my eyes on the road. "Tell me," she took a shaky breath. "After the wedding, everything changed. Little rules at first. What I wore, who I talked to, they said it was tradition." My grip tightened on the steering wheel. "Then they took my phone," she continued. "Said I was distracted, said I needed rest. They told me I was too emotional to make decisions." "Did he ever stop them?" I asked. She shook her head. "He said it was for my own good." By the time we reached my house, the sun was starting to rise. Linda was waiting on the porch. She wrapped Emily in her arms and held her like she might shatter. "I thought I was losing my mind," Emily whispered. "They kept telling me I was sick." That word again. Sick. Later that morning, after Emily finally slept, my phone rang. Unknown number, I answered. "This is her mother-in-law," the voice said, calm as ever. "You've made a serious mistake." "I protected my daughter," I said. "You embarrassed our family," she replied. "And there will be consequences." The line went dead. I stared at the phone, a cold weight settling in my chest, because deep down I knew she was right about one thing: this wasn't over. Taking Emily home wasn't the end of the fight. It was the beginning. Emily didn't come downstairs for most of that day. She slept in fits, waking up startled, asking where she was. Every time I told her the same thing: "You're home, you're safe." But safety, I was learning, doesn't return all at once. It creeps back slowly, like light through a cracked door. By afternoon, she finally sat at the kitchen table, wrapped in a blanket, staring into a mug she hadn't touched. "I feel stupid," she said quietly. I sat across from her. "For what?" "For not leaving sooner." "That's not stupidity," I said. "That's what control does. It convinces you there's no exit." She nodded, eyes glassy. "They said if I left, I'd lose everything. My marriage, my reputation, my future. And your husband," she hesitated. "He said he loved me. But every time I asked him to choose, he chose them." That hurt more than anger ever could. Around noon, my phone buzzed again. A text message this time. "Emily is not thinking clearly. Bring her back before this gets complicated." No name, no number, just a statement, a demand. Linda saw my face. "Them," I nodded. Emily read it too, her shoulders tightened. "They won't stop, I know," I said. That afternoon, Emily told us everything. Not all at once, in pieces, like someone unpacking something fragile. The locked doors weren't the first thing. It started with isolation. "They didn't say, 'Don't call your dad,'" she said. "They just made it inconvenient, took my charger, said the Wi-Fi was for work only. Told me I was always on my phone." Then came rewriting reality. If I cried, they said I was unstable. If I got angry, they said I was dangerous. They kept notes, actual notes. Times I overreacted. I felt sick. "And the bruise?" Linda asked softly. Emily pulled her sleeve back. "It was worse than I'd thought. That was when I tried to leave," she said. She grabbed me. Said I was humiliating the family. My hands curled into fists under the table. By evening, a plan was forming in my head, though I didn't like it, because plans mean conflict. And conflict means escalation. That night there was a knock at the door. Not pounding, polite, controlled. I opened it to find Emily's husband standing there alone. No parents, no lawyer, just him. "I need to talk to her," he said. "No," I replied immediately. "She's my wife. She asked to leave," I said. "You didn't help." He looked past me, eyes scanning the house like he expected her to appear. "She's confused," he repeated. I stepped outside and closed the door behind me. "Listen carefully," I said. "You don't get to decide that anymore." His jaw tightened. "You don't understand our family." "No," I said. "I understand mine." He lowered his voice. "If she doesn't come back, this will get ugly." "There it is," I said. His eyes flashed. "They're already talking to people about her mental health. About how unstable she's been." My blood ran cold. "You're threatening her." "I'm warning you," he said. "They'll make this official." I stared at him. "Get off my property." He didn't move right away. Instead, he said something that confirmed my worst fear. "She signed some papers." "What papers?" I demanded. "Medical consent forms. Financial authorizations." "When?" "Over the past few months." That night after he left, I made calls. A lawyer, a counselor, a friend who worked in family services. The words I heard over and over again were the same: coercive control, psychological abuse, documentation matters. The next morning, Emily woke up calmer but more distant. "They sent flowers," she said flatly, pointing to the porch. "A bouquet, white, tasteful, a card, 'We forgive you. Come home, forgive,' as if she'd committed a crime." Emily tore the card in half. That afternoon, things took another turn. A woman knocked on the door. Middle-aged, clipboard, calm smile. "Adult Wellness Services," she said. "We received a concern call." Emily froze behind me. The woman continued gently. "A report that your daughter may be experiencing emotional distress and is being kept from appropriate care." I felt a cold anger rise. "They called you," I said. "We follow up on all reports," she replied. Emily whispered, "Dad." I stepped aside and let the woman in, because hiding looks like guilt, and I wasn't guilty. She spoke with Emily privately. I sat in the next room, heart pounding, listening to muffled voices. After 20 minutes, the woman came out. She looked at me differently now. "Your daughter is not the problem," she said quietly. Relief nearly knocked me over. "She's been subjected to sustained pressure and intimidation," the woman continued. "I'm filing my own report. What happens now? I asked. She closed her folder. Now there's a record, and that changes things. That evening, Emily received another call. Unknown number. She put it on speaker. You're destroying this family, her mother-in-law said coldly. If you don't come back tonight, we will proceed. With what? Emily asked, her voice steady for the first time. With what we have, the woman replied. I leaned forward. You don't own her. There was a pause, then we'll see. The line went dead. Emily looked at me, fear flickering again. What if they win? She asked. I took her hands. They only win if you go back. But even as I said it, I knew they weren't done. They hadn't even started playing hard yet, and whatever they were planning next wouldn't come quietly. The letter arrived the next morning. Not an email, not a call. A thick envelope slid through the mail slot and landed on the floor with a sound that felt heavier than paper should. Emily stared at it from the couch like it might move on its own. Don't open it yet, Linda said. I picked it up anyway. Inside was a formal notice. Clean fonts, legal language, no emotion. A petition requesting a mental health evaluation, filed by her husband, supported by statements from his parents. They were asking a court to determine whether Emily was capable of making independent decisions. I felt something inside me go cold. They're trying to take control of me, Emily whispered. I read every word twice. The details were precise. Too precise. Dates, descriptions, moments twisted into evidence, emotional instability, erratic behavior, risk to herself. They had built a narrative, and they had started it months ago. The lawyer I'd contacted called me back within the hour. This is serious, she said. But it's not unbeatable. What do we do? I asked. We respond faster than they expect, she replied, and we expose the pattern. By noon, Emily had her own legal counsel. By evening, we had a plan. Documentation, witness statements, medical records, text messages, voicemails, everything. Emily sat at the dining table scrolling through her phone, pulling up old messages she'd ignored at the time. Dad, she said quietly. I thought they were just worried about me. She handed me the phone, message after message. You seem overwhelmed. You don't sound like yourself. We're only trying to help. Then the shift. You shouldn't speak to outsiders about family matters. Your father fills your head with ideas. You need rest, not independence. By nightfall, the house felt like a command center. Paper spread across the table, laptops open, phones charging everywhere. Linda took notes. Emily wrote a timeline. I made calls. That's when another call came in. Private number, I answered. You're making a mistake, her mother-in-law said. No, I replied. You are. You're pushing her into a breakdown, she said calmly. When this goes to court, you'll be the one responsible. You filed paperwork without her consent. She gave consent months ago. That consent was coerced, I said, and you know it. Silence. Then she spoke again, slower now. We offered structure, you offered chaos. I felt a strange clarity wash over me. You confuse control with care, I said. And you're about to learn the difference. The court date was scheduled fast, too fast. 3 days later, Emily barely slept those nights. Every sound startled her. Every car passing made her tense. On the second night, she broke down. What if they convince the judge? She sobbed. What if they take me somewhere I can't leave? I held her while she cried, feeling a rage I hadn't felt in decades. They won't, I said. Not this time. The morning of the hearing, we walked into the courthouse together, Emily between Linda and me. Her husband sat across the room. He didn't look at her. His parents sat beside him, composed, confident, folders stacked neatly in front of them. They had done this before. When the judge entered, the room went silent. Emily's lawyer spoke first, calm. Clear, precise, she outlined the timeline, the isolation, the locked doors, the police visit, the wellness report. Then she played the audio, Emily's voice, shaking, asking to leave. The judge leaned forward, then the other side spoke. They painted Emily as fragile, overwhelmed, easily influenced. They implied I was controlling. That hurt more than I expected. But then Emily stood, her lawyer nodded. Emily took the stand, her hands trembled but her voice didn't. I am not sick, she said. I was scared. She described the locked doors, the notes. The threats, the judge asked. Why didn't you leave sooner? Emily met his eyes. Because they convinced me I couldn't, she said. That sentence changed everything. The judge asked the husband one question. Did you ever prevent your wife from leaving your home? He hesitated. That hesitation echoed through the room. Yes, he said finally. For her safety, the judge closed the file. I'm denying this petition, he said. Immediately, a breath left my chest I didn't know I'd been holding. But the judge continued. I am ordering a separate investigation into potential coercive control. The husband's parents stiffened. Outside the courtroom, Emily's mother-in-law finally dropped the mask. "This isn't over," she hissed. I stepped between her and my daughter. "It is," I said. "For you." That night we went home exhausted but lighter. Emily sat on the porch watching the sunset. "I didn't think I could do that," she said softly. "You did," I replied. "And you'll do more." But even as peace settled, I knew the legal fight was over. The real consequences were just beginning. Winning in court didn't end the pressure. It just changed its shape. The silence that followed was worse than the calls. No messages, no letters, no surprise visits, just nothing. For 3 days, the house felt strangely calm, like the air after a storm when you know another one might still be coming. Emily started going outside again, short walks at first, around the block. Then longer. She flinched less at passing cars. She laughed once at something Linda said, and we all froze, surprised by the sound. But fear doesn't leave cleanly, it lingers. On the 4th day, Emily's phone buzzed while we were eating dinner. She glanced at the screen and went pale. "It's him," she said. "Her husband." She didn't answer. The phone buzzed again, then again. Finally, she handed it to me. I read the message. "I'm sorry, I didn't know how far they'd go." I felt a familiar anger rise, but this time it was sharper. "You stood there and let it happen," I typed back. There was a long pause. Then, "They're furious. They're blaming me. They say I failed." Emily watched my face. "What did he say?" "He says he didn't know," I replied. She let out a bitter laugh. "That's not the same as stopping it." Later that night, something changed. A car slowed outside the house. Not once, 3 times, headlights off. Linda noticed it too. "Probably nothing," she said, but her voice lacked conviction. The next morning, Emily found her social media flooded. Messages from distant relatives she barely knew, concerned tones, carefully worded questions. "We heard you've been struggling. Are you getting help? Your husband is worried." They were spreading the story, a quieter version, a cleaner version, one where Emily was unstable and rescued from herself. "That's how they do it," Emily whispered. "They don't need to lock doors anymore." By noon, my phone rang. "Unknown number," I answered. "You should tell her to stop," the voice said. "Her mother-in-law." "You're defaming us," she continued. "People are asking questions." "You started this," I replied. "No," she said calmly. "You escalated it. You tried to take away her freedom. She humiliated us," she snapped. "There are expectations in a family. There are laws," I said. She laughed softly. "Laws don't fix reputations." That afternoon, a package arrived. No return address. Inside was a stack of printed screenshots, Emily's old messages, photos taken out of context, notes with dates circled in red. At the bottom, one line written in neat handwriting: "We can still protect her image, or we can destroy it." Emily stared at the pages, shaking. "They're trying to scare me back," she said. "And it's not working," Linda replied firmly. We took the package straight to Emily's lawyer. She didn't look surprised. "This is retaliation," she said. "And it helps your case more than theirs." "Another case?" Emily asked. "Yes," the lawyer said. "Harassment, intimidation, witness tampering." Emily exhaled slowly. "I'm tired, I know," the lawyer said gently, "but this part matters." That night, Emily made a decision. She sat us down at the table, hands steady. "I'm going to speak," she said. "To who?" I asked. "To everyone." I wanted to stop her, protect her, but I didn't, because this was her voice now. The next morning, she posted a single statement, not angry, not emotional, clear. She described control, isolation, fear. She didn't name anyone. She didn't need to. The response was immediate. Messages of support, stories from other women, quiet confessions. And then, predictably, backlash. Emily's husband called that night, crying. "They're turning on us," he said. "My parents are furious. They say you've ruined everything." Emily listened silently. Then she said something I will never forget. "You let them ruin me," she said. "This is just truth." She hung up. 2 days later, the investigation report came back. Findings of coercive control. Improper influence, documented intimidation, not criminal charges, but consequences. Emily's husband's job placed him on leave pending review. His parents' standing in their community shifted overnight, and for the first time since this began, the calls stopped. The silence returned. This time it felt earned. One evening, Emily sat beside me on the porch. "I used to think strength meant keeping the peace," she said. "Now I know it means telling the truth." I nodded. "Even when it costs you." "Especially then," she said. The house felt different now, lighter, not because everything was fixed, but because nothing was hidden anymore. Still, there was one thing left, one conversation that hadn't happened, one ending that hadn't arrived yet, and I knew the final act wouldn't be quiet. The last conversation came when I wasn't expecting it. It was a quiet Sunday morning. Emily was in the backyard, barefoot in the grass, watering plants Linda had helped her repot. She moved slower now, deliberate, grounded. My phone rang. I almost didn't answer, but I did. It was her mother-in-law. No calm this time, no practice control, just exhaustion. "This has gone far enough," she said. "We want to meet." "No," I replied. "Aaron," she said, voice tight. "We're losing everything." I watched Emily laugh softly at something Linda said, sunlight on her face. "You lost control," I said. "That's not the same thing." There was a long silence. Then quieter, "She was supposed to fit." That sentence told me more than any confession ever could. "She wasn't broken," I said. "She was just yours to manage." The line went dead. Emily didn't ask who it was, she already knew. A week later, the divorce papers arrived. Emily opened the envelope herself, hands steady, no tears. "I thought this would hurt more," she said. "It already did," Linda replied gently. "This is just the ending." The process was clean, faster than expected, no contest. Control doesn't survive daylight. Emily moved into her own place 2 months later. A small apartment near the river, nothing fancy, but it was hers. The first night she slept there, she called me. "Dad," she said. I locked the door, I smiled. "That's normal." And then, she continued, I unlocked it again, just to check. I didn't say anything. She laughed quietly. "I think I'm okay." She was fixed. She still startled at raised voices, still double-checked exits, still woke from dreams she couldn't fully explain, but she chose her mornings now. Her clothes, her silence, that mattered. One evening, months later, we sat together watching the sky darken. "I used to think leaving meant failing," she said. "Now I know staying would have destroyed me." I looked at my daughter, stronger not because she endured, but because she walked away. "You called me," I said. "That's what saved you." She shook her head. "No, I called you because I was ready." That's when I understood. I didn't rescue her, I answered. And sometimes that's all a parent can do. Be there when the door finally opens. The house grew quiet as night settled in. No threats, no demands, no locked doors, just a daughter who chose herself. And a father who will never ignore a 2:00 a.m. call again.